Hello from the balcony, 8 floors above Chops. Oh yeah, Chops Lobster Bar, downtown Boca Raton. Yep, Cafe 812 up here. It's a late night edition. So we could show you. Okay, how do we do it? Show you the Powerball. Yeah. We still gotta shrink it up a little bit. So there it is. That is the jackpot. If you got all those numbers right, you were going to get $323 million in about 15 days if you hurry up and run up there. Yep. I'm waiting for it to show up on my Mega Millions. Oops, this is. I got it there, but I wanted winning numbers. I want it here. No, it's not there yet. Okay. We'll check it later. I was going to insert it. And this to be in the right place because I want the black lines around the numbers. The balls to make them look like ping pong balls. Because we know, yeah, you see here, they have black around them. Need to update the chart. Oh well, so you can watch me. So the first thing we're going to do is take this guy, copy it down to here, and then paste it back. There we go. I'm going to shift everything down one row. Copy, paste, and just erase it. There we go. That was easy. Now I'm just waiting to insert the new numbers. I have to wait till they're ready. What I could do is I could just use this temporarily and I'll get rid of it later. Now I'm just going to There you go. Not bad in the pinch, except you see it doesn't have the black lines around it. It's not consistent. Anyway, so we can use it for the time being. We don't know if there's a rollover, so we're gonna leave that blank. Plus, we don't know what the rollover amount would be, which would be probably 340 million, up 17 million. Would that be 340? That's a big number, huh? We go all the way over here. We're assuming no one wins. We can always delete it. There we go. Copy. We're going to copy it right to there. All the way across. Paste it. Pew. There you go. It's like magic, isn't it? And all those numbers are calculated. That's assuming it's 343 million, which of course we don't know. You know, we don't know that it's a rollover. So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, so we're not gonna copy that or anything. We're just gonna sit tight. We're going to guess that at 340. So that's the big question. Still waiting for the lottery. Florida Lottery. There we go. The website. We go here. Winning numbers. Mega Millions. It's not posted yet. They may get, I don't know, I forget when they get to it. Anyway, so that's the big deal of the night here. We don't know that there's a rollover, so we're just gonna back out of that and see what happens. If someone actually won, then they would reset the lottery to Mega Millions to like 50 million. So that's quite a setback, if you will. Somebody decided to do an MRI of, can't hear myself think, my God. Gotta turn down Epidemic a little bit. There we go, I'll just turn it down there. We want background music. We're not promoting Epidemic, although it's been our theme song since day one, whenever that was. They've been doing this a while. We have over 500 episodes of Jimmy talking about whatever the heck he wants to talk about. So this is an wait a minute, this is a CT scan, I think. Yeah, a CT scan. How ridiculous is that? Jeez. Let's get my pen going here and see if there we go. And we'll just click that there. So when my eyeball goes up there and says CT scan instead of MRI, if there was any iron or anything in an MRI, it would ignite or something. Yeah, MRIs can't have any iron in your head. You know, plates or that crap. Anyway, so that's a CT scan of my Apple Watch. Of an Apple Watch similar to my Apple Watch. It is the Ultra 2. Yeah. And it would probably say it would probably have a 3 on there instead of a 1. So this is an older one, I'll bet. Because that has a 1 on it. This is a 3. Anyway, that's the guy that did it right there. This is a side view of the Ultra Apple Watch. They don't give these things away, you know, so that was could be a risky business. I don't know. This is a bunch of baloney. AI. Well, the AI images means that artificial intelligence, which is another word for computer programs, like an app. You can use an app, you know, like, what do you call it? Photoshop, to put people in places that where they weren't, you know. So you call it now we call it AI. So everything you ever do on this planet is AI, you know, which is nuts. Because I've been programming computers, you know. I'm trying to think when, since 1972, something like that, yeah. So now someone was shot in custody, a border patrol incident in Arizona. So we're going to learn all about that pretty soon. We can find out, because we can just highlight these words like that. You see that? And then say look up. And then my Alright, I guess this is it. Let's do AI mode. I don't want to read all this stuff. They go through all the websites. This is magical. Okay, and the incident you're referring to, has to deal with a ICE operation targeting Somali Americans in St. Paul, Minnesota, and Border Patrol arrests of a Somali driver in Arizona. Okay. There it is, a truck driver in Arizona. Okay. And 23-year-old U.S. citizen of Somali descent was arrested by ICE agents at her apartment in St. Paul. Detained for a couple of days. I don't see where the shot was fired. All right, go back to photo. Person shot in custody in Border Patrol incident in Arizona. There we go. Let's copy it. And then I'm going to come up here to, a clean, and then let's paste it right in there. What a mess. All right, there it is. An agent returned fire. So that gives you an idea that this guy shot at the agent and missed. And the agent shot back and put the guy in critical condition, now it's serious condition. No agents were injured. That is the incident, January 27th. All right, so that's a week ago. They make it sound like, oh, there's another shooting. These guys are shooting like crazy. No, not exactly. Not exactly. Let's see. Gee, I can just, there's February 3rd numbers. But I want to find it. Come up here to the menu. Winning numbers. Do they have it here yet? Nope. See how they got the black lines around it? Yeah. Takes them a while to update this list. Everyone goes to the main page. So we're just gonna X out of that and we'll come back to you some other time. So we're having coffee with Jimmy here at 11:43 p.m. because you obviously have nothing else to do. But listen to me, yakety yak. Yeah, we saw the Melania movie, the documentation of just a little behind the scenes stuff with her, you know, kind of the keynote person. There we go. Let's straighten that out. That looks better. And then we're going to go here. And she is a very serious person. She can be fun, but she's a very serious person. Yeah. Yeah. That shows serious right there, huh? There we go. And a smart one. She's on top of things. She pays attention. She's, you know, she's in the president's, she's right there, all the news. Yeah, look at her son, 6'9". Almost everybody looks up when you're 6'9". That's like 4 inches over tall people. Yeah. She is some kind of an event, MGM Studios and Amazon event promoting this line. Yeah, we'll just leave that alone. This, yeah, we'll just go to 0 there. We'll just add some. Color doesn't look too. It's very bright. All right. Amazon paid, I think, $40 million for this whole 1 hour and 40-minute presentation. They paid for the, you know, I mean, they provided the entire studio thing and all the recording and the editing and you know, a lot of the videos were actual videos taken by, it's 11 days before the inauguration. So it was all pre-inaugural stuff and getting ready to move in, personal residence. They have 5 hours to get the old furniture out and get the new furniture in. 5 hours. The quick swap. Yeah, so you can move in the rest of the stuff a little later, but get your toothbrush in the first. Yeah. And, you know, the latest news, of course, is, as we see in the New York Post, today's show host. Guthrie's mom was abducted from her home, snatched from her bed. And now we find out that several media sources have received ransom demands. They've been passed on to people that know about such things. I'll do a print screen on this, just because it's terrible enough to, just so we can read the fine print here, because it's tough to do. And we'll get that back to normal. So that way, so we got that, and you see the fine print, and here we get to the fine print. Yeah, seems like we've done this. Yeah, we've done this already. So we have another fine print. In the beginning of all these, there it is up here. Since we already have it, this will be erased. There we go. Yeah, so she got snatched. There's a little blood, so, she got banged around just a little bit. We don't know how much blood. I don't think they stabbed her, but she probably got scratched. And, I can tell you, when you get to be 80 or above, let's say it that way. I happen to be in that crowd, happy to say. The alternative is a whole lot worse, right? So I occupy myself talking to all my buddies out there, and I do have, just so you know, in this secret envelope, I have my Mega Millions. New tickets. 323 million. Yep. So we'll see. And here I have in the back here I have winning. These are winning dollars that I haven't spent. So, try to have some kind of organization of what's going on here. There we go. I do it on one of those. So we'll see what happens. I'll put this back in the secret hiding place. Right back there, yeah. Yep, seal that back up. No combination lock on that Scotch tape. You never know. $323, there it is. If you're lucky enough to win that one, the single jackpot winner, yeah, TMZ received Nancy Guthrie ransom letter. And no one is saying what the demand is. It's money, so it's probably millions of dollars. I don't know how wealthy the Today Show hostess with the mostest. So is it real? Is it Maxell or is it real? The FBI is investigating all this stuff, when you make a ransom demand, you break a few federal laws, I have one of those. I don't need two of those. There we go. So Trump signed an executive order basically saying this place is all burnt down. And these people are trying to build back and they can't get permits. In California, Trump signs an executive order to preempt permitting process for the fire-destroyed homes in LA. So they will dispatch federal officers to the affected area and start issuing permits on the fly. In California, they're so mired in all their BS that these poor people, it's like 1% of the homes are being rebuilt. And the rest of these, are just, they're concrete footprints of where houses used to be. And it's all, multi-million-dollar stuff. These fancy communities, it doesn't look very fancy here because they're all gone. That's dirt. This is like, they got some concrete walls staying up there, but unless they're going to rebuild that sucker identical to the way it was, they're going to have to tear down those walls. But, you need a permit to tear the walls down. These guys are stuck in California. We can't issue the permit because the soil has been damaged. When the house burnt down, you got all kinds of stuff that went into the dirt. And we're trying to figure out how you're going to remove that from the soil. People are saying, what are you kidding? What are you talking about? Just think of all the stuff that went into the atmosphere. I got to deal with that too. So it's a mess. And Trump is basically saying, California, he's going to preempt the permitting process. So that'll be a legal arrangement, So is California going to fight the government because we want to issue permits to these people so they can rebuild their homes? No, a percentage of these folks have more than one home, so they're living somewhere else, but they want to rebuild this because this, but this is all dirt with concrete walls, some kind of barriers. They're not roofs. It's dirt. That is dirt. And everything got so scorched, you don't see much growing back. Here's a little section of green. I don't know why, but there's a little section of green there. But you can see the streets. I mean, there are cars everywhere, so there's activity trying to clear the sites, and if they have building plans, they can rebuild what they had, or they can just say, honey, let's start over. Get the dimension of the spot here, and let's start pounding away. They opened up the fire hydrants and they were empty. No power, no pressure, just nothing. Fire hydrants were dry. Who ever heard of that? They're like super high pressure. Nope. No high pressure. Shadows. Black point. I'll turn that up a little bit. Gives it a little more of a contrasty view. It looks better than it did. All right. See here the elapsed time, 37 minutes 40 seconds, and the proper time is over here. Seems to be a little out of view here. It ought to be there you go. There you can see the time and the seconds. Push this back. There we go. It is midnight. It is midnight and 52 seconds, so it's going to be 12:01. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. 12:01 a.m. It is officially tomorrow. Yeah. I have this thing going on because I don't know why I said him twice. Let's get rid of this one. Boing. There we go. So, these articles have to do with this topic. Looking at the numbers for Tesla and robotaxi and all this stuff. So apparently, folks believe that Elon Musk wants to combine all this. He wants to combine AI with SpaceX, which makes sense because that way they can develop the AI stuff up in space, and those two companies will be in the same company instead of two separate private companies, by the way. They're both private. SpaceX, although huge, is a private company, and Elon probably owns 40% of the shares. We don't know exactly because it's a private company. That's the nice thing about a private company. You don't have anyone looking in your pants. But it's a serious company. It's a big company, so I'm sure they got good accountants, and they do proper tax returns and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to combine the two private companies first, and then attempt to combine the merged private company with the public company, which is Tesla, symbol TSLA. And And it itself is going through a little metamorphosis because, selling cars is not going to be where they're going to be making most of their money, most of the earnings. Most of the earnings are going to come from the robo-taxi business, which is a service business. They don't sell them. It's going to have their own fleet. Now, we imagine if you wanted to buy one, you could. One or two, whatever. About $30,000 a piece, round numbers, maybe a couple thousand less, because they're tooling up to make millions of them as of April, right after the first quarter. They're tooling up the plants in Texas to make robotaxis like crazy. And they're full self-driving. They don't even have a steering wheel in there. And they don't have a brake pedal, and they don't have an accelerator pedal. You just sit in there, you tell it where you tell the screen where you want to go, and it takes you there. You get the address, you put it in. You put it in either through your phone or just talk to the screen. And it'll very quickly find where you want to go. And Mr. Jim, does this look like where you want to go? Everyone strapped in, seatbelts fastened, push the go button. And you push the big green go button, and off you go. And it has cameras looking in every direction. And it's 7 times safer than your average USA driver. Probably more better than that. More better. But we'll just leave it at that. So that's the beginning of the article. And we're going to go this way to see the next bullish takeaways. Several firms, including UBS, Goldman Sachs, and Barclays, Freedom Capital, have raised their Tesla price targets in recent weeks, which I totally disagree with. They don't have earnings. They have earnings to support about $130 share price company. They're trading it like over 370 times earnings. That's crazy. Let me show you. Right here. We'll touch Tesla. Now, see where it says P/E? Right in the middle there. Right in the middle. I can't reverse pinch because this is a website. I guess if I do this, I can. This is a screen print now of what we're looking at. We're just right here, and there we go. We'll do that. Save the photos. Now we'll go to photos so I can reverse pinch and highlight what I'm talking about. And that'll be the first picture right there. Do a couple of fast edits. There we go. Okay. Now, PE. You see the PE ratio right there? PE ratio 380. Now Well, that's not, all these other companies are 30, 40, 27, you can go through the whole list of all these right here. You can touch each one of those. And I can almost tell you what the PE ratio is. From Apple, Nvidia, Meta, Amazon. A lot of these companies have all kinds of things going on for them too. They're not sitting around, waiting for someone to do something. You could active boards of directors, and they're doing a lot of stuff. Well, so is Tesla. But the price is, 383. It should be like 7, you want to go really huge PE ratio, try 75. All right, well, let's do a little fast math. 75 divided by 383, what's that? That's 20%. That's 20%. All right, multiply that times the current, the current share price. Let's say it's let's take a peek. 421. 421 equals. There you go, $82 a share. Okay, and it's 400. So anybody tells me they're going to increase their price target to some other crazy number is Looney Tunes. But it's way overpriced. They're looking 3 years in the future for earnings and pricing today's stock based on what they're going to. You can have all kinds of nice ideas, but until you have an earnings situation where it's hitting your bottom line, it's all a lot of work in progress. You can, markets are forward-looking. Stock markets, that's a market. Each stock is a market in itself. Well, forward-looking is like a year. You look at the forward-looking year, and you want to value your stock based on forward earnings that haven't been realized yet. Fine, go at it. But not the forward 3 years. 6, 7, 8, 9. They're looking at 2029 on what the earnings might be with all this, bunch of baloney. No, it's not the way it works. It won't work that way. No. I paid my cleaning ladies with Zelle instead of giving them cash or handing them a check. Do you have Zelle? Oh, sure. Do Zelle, it goes right in her checkbook. And then she takes care of her helper. There's 2 of them that run around and clean apartments like crazy. Outstanding. They did it today. The place feels so clean. They come every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. So I time all kinds of things off of. They actually came today, Tuesday. Normally they come on Wednesday. But she texted me. She said, I got something going on Wednesday. I need to do it Tuesday. I said, fine with me. Tuesday works. Wells Fargo, which recently raised its target to $130. It's trading at $421. Yeah, it's a bullshit, you know. And here's their, you know. The financial models are two long-term assumptions. Right there, black and white, right in the middle of your screen. You know. The price targeting is all over the place. But selling cars is actually, they don't care if they sell them or not. Because if they don't sell them, they're going to be robocabs, robotaxi. I guess the robotaxi is the gold vehicle that has like the wing doors. Assuming they're going to keep those doors on there, it looks like they are. And then you got Cybercab, which is like a Model Y with steering wheel and pedals. That's self-driving, and it'll take you anywhere you want to go without a driver. Yeah, like the computer is the driver. Anyway, so that's what's going on with, the Tesla stocks and revenues and all that kind of business. And the bulls and the bears are, that's what a market is all about. That's why I save those pages. There's Milani. We saw the movie. It is, I watch a lot of things, and I don't entertain very easily, to say the least. And I tell you what, that was an hour and 40 minutes. You were just compelled to see. It's like the lifestyles of the rich and famous. But here you're following, a first lady and the president, but it breaks off with the first lady, because she has to, pick out her dress and get the seamstresses, in line on exactly the way she wants it, and she knows exactly the way she wants it. So it's not like a debate. And the china, the dishes, the glassware, everything is picked. It's not, and the White House has a big warehouse apparently, where they have all the sets of dishes, and she can pick from a whole book of different place settings. What you're seeing on your screen right there is DJI Letter 1. They have to get they're getting all their models, on in showroom, in retailer shelves, because there's going to be something going on with, these, after a certain date, then there's going to be a compliance requirement that a lot of these devices don't comply with. So that's why DJI and all the manufacturers, this is the largest manufacturer, is going through their stuff and putting out, the best that they have in the various size categories, because there's going to be new rules and regulations which are going to be very, constraining. Yeah. So this has got, a 1-inch sensor. It's got, 2 eyes on each side. So you basically have, and sensors on the back. So you have 360-degree obstacle avoidance. So when you're flying this around, if you try to go over to the left or the right and there's a building in your way, it won't crash into it. It'll like geofence it out of possibility. Because this thing can go 12 miles away. Now you're supposed to, be able to see, line of sight, and you can't see 12 miles away. You can't see this little bugger 12 miles away. It'd be a little tiny, you might be able to see some flashing lights maybe, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, the battery life is 12 miles. So 6 miles out, 5 miles out, and 5 miles back. And maybe a couple of miles over top of whatever you were looking at. We're a mile from the beach, so I have one of these, not that one, in a little case down here that's a couple years old. But it's, like new technology whenever the heck I got it. And it's cheap. Like $500. The whole shooting match. I figured with my maybe business partner, maybe we need to be able to take pictures at a certain elevation and look around. Take pictures of the avenue and all that kind of stuff with our own equipment. Videos, take a video going right down the avenue, day and night, and have those kind of videos playing, so you can show people what's. This is Delray. We got a project, a maybe project in Delray. Tomorrow morning is a big meeting. And then tomorrow at lunchtime, information about that meeting is going to be shared with me. And then maybe there's something happening, in which there'll be some modest fee we could be paid. Shouldn't be too modest. We're not chopped liver. Maybe $7,500 a month or something or other. Look at these gals in someplace out west. You can see the street, how it's lined mountainous. Little hill in the background. I'm not afraid of ICE because I'm not an illegal. I'm not scared of the police because I'm not a criminal. Simple. There you go. There's 3 ladies standing in the street, and they're carrying around that sign. Looks like it's on a piece of plywood. Gotta have some sturdy hands to hold that sucker up there. Here's a little studio I have sitting up on my bench. I got 24 inches by 6 feet. Marilyn's got the other 24 inches by 6 feet. Because this is a 6 foot by 4 foot table, and we split it right down the middle. I took this picture, like last week. You can see Wednesday, January 28th. There's my trusty SM7B. That's a Shure microphone. Yeah. On a boom. I have it on a big boom. And I can, focus it. I can pull it out. I think this is fine. I've got it up to 42 dB. All right. So I can afford to have it a little further back. And if I go all the way over, there we go. It's safe. So I can push it forward to get it, when I'm done. Or I can pull it back around that way. I'd rather push it forward so I can, in the way this is positioned, if I go forward, this foam will hit the computer rather than anything metal. So this keeps it basically out of, this flap up here stays open. This is a Mac computer. It's a MacBook Pro, but it's a MacBook Air, 15-inch screen, I'm going to say M4 chip. Let's look and see about this Mac. It's got an M4 chip, 32 gigabytes of random access memory. I believe I have 2 terabytes of storage. All right, checking that out right now. I've got Mac version 26.3. I'm a beta tester, and I'm using, I have available 1.74 terabytes of 2 terabytes. So that's the story on what's going on with this, with what I have here. It cost, a couple, I made a fee and updated my computer. Made a $14,000 fee, so I peeled off 2,000 of it and bought a new MacBook Pro. And the other one, which is older, I put in a suitcase for like mobile, if I went mobile. So I have mobile microphone, mobile iPad. I would have to take this, what do you call it, Rode Duo, and put it in the suitcase if we were going somewhere to broadcast. Otherwise, I just, you know. So this one I just bring with. That's the only thing I got everything else duplicated except for my soundboard. I don't have two of these. That would cost an extra $5,000. And unless I knew I was going to do a lot of mobile stuff, because this thing is like taped in, then I just rip off the tape. Yeah. I've got a backup power supply. So I basically operate with two AC plugs on the outlet. One AC plug to energize the MacBook, and another one to energize this Rodecaster. Yeah, takes like 19 volts, 3 amps. Power. I don't know what the current drain is on the MacBook. It's got a good, very good battery. I could run off the battery, I'm sure, because I don't talk more than 3 hours. Heaven forbid. It's 12:30. I've been on for about an hour and 7 minutes. So let's look at the Florida. I can do it right here on this one. There it is, lottery. Let's plug it up. And we'll go to winning numbers, see if it's in that list yet. It is. I knew after about an hour. There it is, that's it. You see what the circle's around it? So I'm going to do a print screen of this. Siri Bob. There we go. And come right over here. I can take. Yeah, that's it. 5 on. I need to make that a little bit. Make a million ball. All right, now I have to. I've got to save that to Photos. Now I'm going to go to Photos. There it is. So I'm going to increase the black, increase the yellow, so that stands out a little bit more. There we go, nice and yellow. All right. Save that. Now we go to my spreadsheet. There we go. We're going to go here and get rid of this one. Here's the delete key. Got it. Let's go to here. And we'll just touch it. No. Yeah. Copy photo. Now we go to this and paste it. Allow paste. There it is. Ooh, it's not. I gotta go back to it and brighten it up. Looks all dark. So we're gonna edit it. This is live TV, folks. Alright, let's try that. Copy photo. Paste. Allow paste. That's much better. So now we adjust. It looks like it's pretty good. So now we adjust the that's it right there. We won't know until tomorrow if anyone won. They got to run their computers and there are 45 states that are doing Mega Million to see if there is a single jackpot winner. I will not check my tickets. So tomorrow, I'll show you the screen. There you go. Now we go back. Now we go back to home. Oh, they already know. No one won. So it's 340. See, Friday's 346 million. So they have already determined that there is no jackpot winner. So now I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. What was it? 340. I have 340. Gosh darn it. I think it said 346. Help me, producers. Yeah, 346. That's it. There we go. Do a little print screen of that. This is Mega Millions. Tuesday. This is the numbers for Tuesday. And the jackpot is going to roll over to Friday, $346 million. That ain't hay. 346. There we go. Backspace and put a 6 in there. Yeah, so now it's going up 23 million. So there's a lot of interest in Mega Million now that it's a third of a billion. Some people woke up and said, "Hey, this is a pretty good size what do you call it here? Why are we hamming around? Let's just go for this one." This to 100 million. 90 million is fine. You press it too hard, or it thinks you want to enter information there. Alright, so 100 million. That looks like it, right there. So that way we'll go back to December 23rd. Do a print screen on this and go right here. I've got my little statement that says the lottery is not endorsing. They don't know what. I'm just doing this for fun. And these are not official lottery anything. Even though the 346 is their number, it is a rollover. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. So now I'm going to close this down. Yeah. So that has not been saved in the cloud. In the cloud. Yeah. So now we're going to go to photos. And we're going to go right here. And this is the image I just created. And that's, get rid of that one. So these, you see with the black circles, that has been inserted in this right here. So now we can see mega ball of 21, first ball is 5, 11, 22, 25, 69. No one has that number. They might have all the whites, but they don't have the Powerball. Or you might have 4 of the whites and the Powerball, and you're missing one. I think that's how you win $1 million, if you get 5 of them. Which is like, 100,000 to one shot. It's like, it's, forget it. It's not a good, you just play this, and if you get struck by lightning, fine. But otherwise, it's, you don't count on winning this. You just play. So I play. All right, so it's 346 million. Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days, because you can't buy any tickets now. So 3 days of buying tickets. Mega Millions is going to jump 23 million. So now we're getting into jumping 20 million or more per week. More and more people are going to start getting interested in this, because the jackpot, the lump sum payout, pre-tax, is 158 million. That would go on your tax return, along with any other income you made this year. And then, now, of course, they're not going to give you a check of 158 million. They're going to give you a check of 120 million, as you can see there, because the government is going to withhold 24%. This is a 24% withholding tax. And since you're likely in the maximum tax bracket, you're going to owe another 13% to bring you to 37%, because they already got 24. 4. Excuse me. So the 158 million, excuse me, a little cough. 158 million becomes 120 million because they withheld 24%. And in April, when you do your taxes again, it's going to be, the jackpot after 37% tax is 99,603,000. You're almost at the 100 million mark after all federal taxes. Now, I'm in a state where there's no income tax. Texas and Tennessee are also states with no income tax. So, in Florida, you will pay no tax on the lottery winnings. So after the federal tax, your checkbook is going to say 603,000 is pretty good. Much less 99,603,000. Yeah. 603. That's a lot of money. So my thought when you have this kind of money is you take 29,603,000. All right, let's just hang in there with me. 29,603. Oh, oops. No. 29,603. Oh. There you go. Put that in a 4% interest-bearing account times 0.04. That'll give you $1,000,001, over $1,000,001 in interest earnings, a year. So you'll pay interest on, so if you can, so which would yield, like $1 million, if there's a 5% account, and you pay the thing. So divide by 0.04 equals, there we go, get back to 29 million. Let's say times 0.05. A 5%, tax-free situation. That's $1,000,004. You just put that 29,603,000 in the side pocket, and you live off the $1,480,000. You can buy stuff. You can give some of that away. Whenever you feel like giving somebody $10,000. A nice $10,000 strap of $100 bills. Whew, that'd be a nice thing to hand somebody. Your favorite bartender. So let's go back to Lottery Central, because we're talking about this 99,603. So now we just took 29,603 out of there. So that leaves you 70 million. All right? 70 million. We got 4 kids. Give each kid 5 million. That's 20 million. 70, 60. That brings you down to 50 million. We got 10 relatives. Give them $2 million. That's another $20 million, so 50. Now we're down to $30 million. We've paid off all the relatives. Sorry to put it that way. So we got $30 million. So, you know, $15 million for Marilyn and $15 million for Jimmy. Or we can do 10, 10, 10. 50 for Marilyn. Excuse me. 10 for Marilyn, 10 for Jimmy, and 10 in a joint account, which we can buy stuff. Like we'll buy a couple of condos, you know, one inside the Boca Resort community. Yeah. Somewhere in there you buy a nice condo for, you know, you got $10 million in that account, right? So, in the joint account. So, you buy a nice condo there. And, you know, maybe it's a $5 million condo. And then buy another $5 million condo somewhere, you know, up in, I don't know, you know, it could be, I don't know, North Carolina or somewhere near, you know, we got a son and a daughter in Virginia, and we could buy something in there, you know. That's an insane amount of money. Yeah. In that joint account, you know, so, you know, I said, we only have 7 relatives. I said 10. So we got $6 million essentially left over for charity. So put the $6 million, this is my suggestion, instead of handing them out and then they forget you. So you got $6 million, times 0.04 equals. So now you got $240,000 a year, all right? There's 2 charities we like. Divide that by 2. You can give them, you know, divide by 12. You give them $10,000 a month. And Tunnelville Towers will be, instead of, you know, gosh, they're advertising, you know, for that $11, this is like 900 $11 contributors as one contributor. Yeah. Oh, gosh. So 10,000 is nice for each charity every month. And that's the Jerry Thomas Hospital for children that have, you know, terrible cancers or whatever their ailment is. Yeah. It's Wednesday night. It's midnight. I think it's time to shut down. I've been on here an hour and a half. Let's see if I can do a quick shutdown so that I can be Betty by 1 a.m. Alright, so you all have a nice evening. I'll talk to you